Hi everyone, in this video we want to create some accounts that we're going to need to set up while we are building our inventory or setting up our organizations in inventory module. Now to do that, we can check those accounts. Actually, these accounts are already be uploaded as part of your upload of value sets or values for your value sets in general ledger. Right, remember when you were creating your chart of accounts and you uploaded some accounting flexi values and all that. So these accounts are normally supposed to be there, but since we did not actually upload them on the go, we want to just check and confirm that those accounts are there, because we are going to have to need them when we are uploading or defining our organizations and items in our organization in inventory. So to do that, we'll first of all go to inventory. You can actually access the ledger from or the chart of account or the values from inventory. So you go to setup, transactions, flex fields, key, values. So the application is general ledger. Remember, a chart of accounts in general ledger, and then the title is accounting flex field. The structure is a demo. A demo. We're using the demo one chart of account, and we are looking for values the accounting segment or the account segment. So let's find. We have a whole list of values that we had defined. So one of those values that we are going to have to check is what we call the material account. We're going to see if we had defined our material account here. We're going to go back to our Excel sheet. Remember the Excel sheet where we were doing our chart of account? If you don't have that, you should reach out to me. I think I had shared that in earlier class while we were setting up our general ledger. But let's go back to the accounting natural account segment and check if we have this account. So to do that, we pick up our account from the natural account segment. We come here and we're looking for this value. So to look for that value, you can go enter query, enter, and we are looking for the value 132100. Then you can run the query, or you can do F11. Run the query, and it looks like we've not defined that value. So we'll just come out of that query, and then we'll define that value. And then we call that material. And that will be in the qualifier for that will be allow posting. It's not going to be an expense, it's going to be an asset account. Save our work. The next one we want to define is again, we have to enter query and make sure that we did not already define it. But let's enter query, and that account will be 131100. Let's run and see if we had defined that account already. Nope, we did not. So we're going to come out of that query, and then we define that account, and we call that a work in progress. You say work in progress. And that also is going to be an asset account. We'll do an asset account, save it, save it. Again, we're going to check a couple of other accounts, enter query. We want to check 132200. And that should be our material overhead. So run the query, we did not define that. So I'll just copy. So what I do, it's already highlighted. I Control C to copy, and to come out of the query, I would press F4 on my keyboard, and I come out of that query. Then I do Control C to paste the value I had already copied, and then I continue with my creation of the value. So this value description is going to be material overhead, sorry. And again, it's going to be an asset account. An asset account. We'll save our work. Again, we want to enter query. And check a couple more. This time we want to check 133,100. Let's run that query and make sure we don't have that in there already. No, we don't. So I copy, come out of the query, paste, and I'm looking for to create this account, which is described as WIP, simply work in progress. We'll call it WIP, okay? I think we had defined another work in progress. We'll call it WIP material. And again, this is an asset account. An asset account. Save our work. So we're going to check a couple more. We just have to check all the accounts because we need all of these accounts, especially these values, while we're defining, again, like I said, setting up our inventory. So we want to check another value. I'll query that value just to make sure we don't have it already. It's going to be 132500. Yeah, we run that query. We don't have that account defined yet, that value defined yet. So I'll come out of that query, paste my account, and then I'll call this outside processing. And this is going to be an asset account. An asset account. Save it. I'll define query. I want to look for 133500. Did we define that yet? Did we create a value? No. So let's go ahead and create a value. And this is going to be work in progress outside processing. Outside processing. Asset account also. Most inventory accounts are usually asset accounts, except for, yeah, most of them are usually asset accounts because they hold asset. Inventory is an asset. So we defined that already. We can check another one. I'm pretty sure we did not define most of the asset accounts, but let's just confirm this 134500. Did we run this? Did we define that? Check. No. Copy my account. Come out of that query. Paste it. And I'll call this one MRB outside processing. And most of these accounts are material related, and they're also these business cases. Usually, we are considering this as a manufacturing client, and so it's heavily involved with inventory organizations. Okay, let's enter query. We want to look for 134100. Do we have that in the system? No. So let's go ahead and create that. And that is going to be MRB material. So now set account. Always try to make sure that the account type is asset for this inventory as values that we're defining, because it's going to mess up your accounting if those um, qualifiers are not set right. Okay, so we want to check for another one. Here we want to look at 134 100. We just defined that. Okay, 134 100. So let's do 134 134 200. And we can always go back and define these if we find out why we are setting up our organization, or we're finding and setting up our module and we find out that that account has not been defined. We can go back and always set that up. So this one we're going to call MRB material overhead. And as usual, it's going to be an asset account. Save our work and come out. So it looks like we've defined most of the accounts that we needed to define. So as usual, we want to make sure that the hierarchies are already are compiled. So we'll come out of this form. It's going to trigger that concurrent request to compile the value set hierarchies. You can view that. Make sure that it completes successfully. Yep, so it completes successfully. That is how we added those values. We can always come back to add these values if we happen to actually, it's always good to create these values first. Then you can go ahead and set up your organization. But these are the values that we've created. If you're setting up your organization, you find out that these values are not in your value set for the account segment, you can always come back, close the form, come back and create those values. So thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.